psychiatrist, psychologist named Pavlov in Russia. He is more renowned for his theory called conditioning. And the story goes like that in his trial, he had a few dogs. So he would ring the bell, feed the dogs. So dogs are tied in, say, one room. So every day at his cue, they would unleash them. He will ring the bell. Somebody will bring them in that room. And the food will be served to the dogs. After a few weeks of this training, he would ring the bell. Dogs would come running to him, and they are drooling. Because their mind, the brain, are now working in sync with the salivary glands of the dog. So the sound of the bell is associated with food, which the dog's mind has nicely treated itself to. And there is no food, and yet the dogs are drooling. Our mind is, in a way, conditioned just like those dogs. In childhood, food meant not just sustenance, but food also meant joy. And the kids, they love the sugary things, and they love the very bright colored things. So food is joy. And this equation has happened because right from the day of the birth, every child begins to relish his, from the mother's breast milk to the bottled milk, to the fruits, to the cereals, and whatnot. And because children love food and especially the sugary stuff, and now this has been established very well by the food researchers that sugar is like equal to addiction of a cocaine or alcohol. It hits the same point in the brain. If somebody takes a cocaine or liquor, the same point gets stimulated when you take sugar. And it also goes for the wheat, because wheat has a lot of sugar in it, and so does rice. So when you eat rice or wheat or sugar or sugary stuff, your pleasure center in the brain gets stimulated and you feel good. And that's why, in spite of doctors sometimes saying, don't eat, you are too obese, people find it difficult to, curtail down their amount of food or the frequency of the food which they are taking in. Similarly, this applies to all other four senses. Our eyes love the color spectrums. The blue skies, the blue water of ocean, the green pastures, the fields, the greenery, the forest greenery, So our eyes also get conditioned. When I say eyes, so it's actually eye is a window. It's the mind which is getting conditioned. Same goes for sound, smell. Same goes for the touch. Let's say, when a child is born, the mother takes care. The mother holds the baby close to her chest. And out of love is cuddling the baby and rubbing the baby's back or head. And somehow she is enjoying because it's oxytocin which gets released in mother, and the same hormone gets released in the baby. And that's why this baby one day becomes an adult. What the mother was doing, his girlfriend or her boyfriend will be doing. Patting the head, caressing the back, and that calms the mind. Now this is again has been research clinically proven that when somebody embraces you, hugs you, the amount of oxytocin which gets released in the body calms the brain, calms the mind. Hence, they say it's a good and great thing that somebody is giving you that. And what is happening is it's the skin to skin touch which is happening. And the way the monotonous movement of the hand is happening again and again and again and again. That is calming the brain. That is calming the mind of the person. Now this is one of the another deepest conditioning which most of the humans have. So you might be of any age. When somebody pats your head with love, or your shoulder, or your arm, or gives you a hug, maybe it's a brother, sister, mother, father, some grandparents, or even your friend, or girlfriend, or boyfriend, or husband, or wife, or the sense of security and the sense of calmness just dawns upon. So in a way, we humans are conditioned through our five senses and through our body. And this conditioning is so deep that this actually begins to work like a slavery of the mind. Now, how through your ears or the sound, I'll give you another analogy. Your mom, your dad, your nani, dadi, somebody, they say kind words to children. That's, the good baby, nice baby, wonderful. A child just blabbers a poem and the whole family goes gaga. And they're clapping and they're, oh, wonderful, oh, you are beautiful. Because for the children, normally most of the families have some very accolading words and terms and sentences. And in Hindi, they say Raja Babu. So all the boys are spoiled by this word, my Raja Babu, or my Rani Beti, my princess daughter, my prince son. So somehow physically one day this boy or girl will grow up, but inside the mind, they still want somebody to call princess. And if you just analyze the psychological behavior and language of the so-called lovebirds, most of the boys will be calling their girlfriend princess. They love it. And the boys are being addressed as, very honorable person. And I can't live without you, and you will give me the security. You are my everything. The sense of that kingship is being given by wife or by girlfriend, and the sense of security and adulation and adoration and applaud is being given by the male to the female, or by the female to the male. So through the words, the mind is getting conditioned. And Pavlov also proved that this conditioning creates an emotional slavery. Like for the dog, every time the bell is rung, the dog drools. And if the dog is not fed, he gets angry. So this means lust and anger go side by side. It's like two faces of one coin. It's the same behavior in the humans. If you are not given the attention and applaud and the rewarding is not done, the attention is not given, the respect is not given, mind gets angry. And if somebody else is getting and you are not getting, this makes you more jealous. So it's not just anger, it's more jealousy also is going to walk. Now this is such a deep conditioning. It's not about one life. Hundreds and thousands of lives. We have lived in the same way. I'm reminded of a story that one time there was a young boy like you. He used to go to a Mahatma for satsang. And one day he goes there and he says, Gurudev, I won't be able to come for next a month or so. Guru said, why? He said, I'm getting married. And Guru just blurted out, oh, again? He said, what? Why are you saying again? I said, no, you just go ahead. And okay, you informed me well, nice, go. Get married and see you whenever you are free, come. But this young man couldn't sleep. Why did he say this? Oh, once again. And the color of his face had changed from being calm to pretty somber, and a bit worrisome face was there. So third day goes back. Amidst all the fun and frolic and celebrations in his house, he goes back to and he said, Gurudev, I just have to ask this, why you said this again? And you seemed a bit sad, and how come? Guru said, forget it, it was nothing. I said, the more he evades, the more he is getting persistent. No, you have to tell me why. I said, okay. I was your guru in the last life also. And in your previous life, you started your sadhana doing all well. And then one day you said that you are getting married. And you said, I'll come back soon as I'm done with the ceremonies. And then somehow you were so head over heels in love with your wife, and then soon with your kids, and then soon for providing for them, you just totally forgot. And you left your sadhana in between. And see the nature's play. I am again a guru of yours. You again come to me. And now again you are saying this, the same thing. So I'm sorry I said this, I shouldn't have, but it's not first time you are doing it. The young man was like shocked, and his mind was in great agony. He just couldn't leave the ashram that day. He just kept on meditating on what the Guru said. And he had no reason to doubt, because he knew his master had these special powers, which he never exhibited as such. So it was like a one-lose moment where he just said it, and then he had to make a little effort further to get the whole truth from the Guru. It's the same. Doing it again. And how your vasanas, your drives, the sexual drives, the lust, the conditioning of the family of, be powerful, be rich, have a bigger family, and be well known and acclaimed in your circle, and you should have all the best and best of the staff. He couldn't go back, so he just stayed there. And next morning, when Guru came out of his room and he saw the young man sitting at the same place, so why didn't you leave? He said, now I can't. If I had been doing this in my previous life, then I'm pretty sure that I had been doing the same thing every time. Because all those hundreds of people whom I know, and all the thousands of people who are in our village and town, I see them, their forefathers, grandfathers, sons and grandsons and great-grandsons, they're all living a one same style. We are all running and racing after stuff. And this goes on because the house in which I am living, that was made by my great-grandfather. And he earned so much and died. Then my grandfather earned so much, died. Then my father, who is still earning, and he wishes me to continue the legacy of making more money. And I'm done with it. I don't wish to pursue this. So he took a boldest step of his life. And he said, now I wish to know what doesn't die when the body dies. I wish to know what is death and what is beyond death. And I wish to know what is the samsara and what is beyond the samsara. And I wish to know who actually I am. Because this much I have understood, that I am surely not this body made of flesh and bones and blood. So I need to explore this. So I am not going back. The conditionings which the mind has makes us more or less like, I would say, remote-controlled toys. You think about anything savory. I can name a few. You just think about some savory things which you have relished. If you think a little more about that, you will be drooling. You think a little more about the physical intimacy in between male and female, maybe use some video or pictures or something, and you just think about it. So mere thoughts about the physical intimacy, that will give you arousals. That is the conditionings of your indulgences which have been happening from God knows how many thousands of years. But I am very sure that we are not dogs. But without viveka, the firm ability to discriminate in between good and bad and real and unreal and truth and untruth, if we don't have this viveka with us, if we don't have this wisdom, then we are not better than the Pavlov's dog. And that's what the most of the human beings are. Not behaving less or more, but like a dog only. Like any animal. We are tuned, we are trained, we are conditioned, we are enslaved of thinking in a certain way, wishing for things in a certain way, hoping to have things in a certain way, hoping to have appreciation and applause from society in a certain way, wishing to have the best of food and clothes and cars and this and that. This is all which has been fed by people in your head. It's not your idea. Somebody exposed you to all the designer labels, and now you wish to have that. You saw people wearing it in cinema, in the movies, and the richer people, exhibiting or showing off their stuff, and you saw that, and now your mind gets greedy. Oh, I want it. Just go in like Kutch area, or maybe go in a smaller village, maybe in Jharkhand, or maybe in Bihar, or maybe where this nonsense of social media has not reached, although it's hard to say, but still, there are some places still in this world who are, you may call them primitive, but actually they're having a wonderful life because they are living the real life, right? They don't have the burden of the unnecessary desires and indulgences, and they are not killing themselves by eating too much and watching too much and running too much and desiring too much and being egoistic too much. Their lives are much simpler. They sleep well, they are healthy, they are joyful. Now I was in Puri, right? So the Odisha is still in a process of being a developed state. It's far behind. And it has loads of tribals and people still living in those ancient ways. So somehow the team who was organizing the satsang, they had this idea, and every day I would be greeted by a group of tribal people who dance, play their instruments, and dancing they would bring me to my asana. The joy of dancing was so beautiful on their faces. The joy of playing those drums and those cymbals and blowing those conches, 2 conches at one time. That was very interesting. 2 conches at one time, and they're blowing it. And they're dancing also. They're not huffing and puffing. They are so strong. And they are so vibrant. And they had that sparkle in their eyes. That was amazing. The sparkle in their eyes, which I don't find in city-bred people. They had that purity. They had that happiness. So, in a way, they are very fortunate. They haven't been diseased by the modern world. The vices of the modern world, should I say.